I'm not fighting with this disease. I don't hate my body because there's still lots of things I can do, even though there's some days that there's things I can't do. And I just go, okay, well, what do I need today? And being present and in the moment has been so much more beneficial on that healing journey for me than most other things.
Yeah, I think it makes a huge difference. I've done a lot. I live with a complex PTSD and I'm neurodivergent. And so learning how to really support the body through somatic practices, through therapeutic work, whether it's EMDR or there's like millions of different therapeutic tools out there that can be super helpful. But I think it's a really, again, it's acknowledging that it's one body and your body holds, like your body's been through everything. And if we don't process things, if we don't digest things, not just food, but also emotions and experiences, then actually it's going to affect how our biochemistry works. And I think that we can sometimes have this sort of, I know what you mean, there's loads of chat. It's like, let's fight this, let's fight this. And I'm like, I think we should listen first. Like our symptoms often are messages. They're trying to communicate something. We often don't understand them, like it's a different language. But if we can listen, what is like I had a client recently that would drink a lot by their own they say I drink a bit too much, binge drink, and I know it's not good for me, and I vape and I don't want to. And she almost like said this to me in a really embarrassed way because she's like, she knows it's not good for her, right? It's not like I needed to tell her that. And so there's like some shame there. And she's like, I really want to try and like fight the habits and like, like, oh, let's break these things. And I was like, I think actually we should first listen because if you're vaping regularly, there's a need in your body that you're meeting with vaping. And that need's probably really biological, probably quite primal, and probably really important. So there's no point in us stopping vaping unless we meet that primary need with a different tool so that vaping becomes unnecessary. Same with drinking. It makes loads of sense that you want to drink more. You get lots of GABA, a lovely neurotransmitter released. You're going to feel calm. And you really struggle. She really struggled with that genetically to kind of have this lovely GABA, which is one of the neurotransmitters that will be released in high amounts when you drink alcohol, FYI. So that's that feeling of alcohol. When people drink it, they go like, oh, I feel so like chilled for the moment. And then actually long term you disrupt and lower your GABA levels. Anyway, so it was actually more about like meeting, instead of judging it or fighting it or like trying to break the habit, of just being like, I think we need to support your GABA pathways. I think we need to look at dopamine and your brain health and how nourished you are. So that let's really bolster these. And then when you feel ready, when you feel well resourced and capable, then maybe we look at, okay, do we need to tweak these habits? How do you like, or will they naturally just sort of fade away? We don't need to like hustle to, I'm going to break all my bad habits. You can acknowledge that a habit doesn't serve you, but it is looking underneath that, witnessing the body, listening to it, like going like, what are you saying to me? Right. Oh, okay. This is all this joint pain. What is that? All right. I think it's inflammation, or I think it's whatever it is. And I think that's really important. But often we kind of create this war, like, and that's why I think at the start, when you asked that question, it was like, we're like allies with our bodies. We're not here to fight it or to force it into submission or to like pin it down. We're like in this beautiful dance with them, and it's a bit like a tango and a bit like a forwards and backwards, and it's not linear, it's not, but there's a partnership here. And yeah, I think we're more than our bodies and we live on beyond that, but that does not mean we disregard this really sacred home that we have while we're here on earth, and that the body is amazing. And the more you learn about it, the more you just realize you don't know, and the more you keep learning. And I think that's why there's so much power in understanding your body. Like, I think it's one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself, or I would say. And even investments, I've invested a lot of money in whether it's my, not even just my training, but actually, my own health and well-being. And there's lots of questions around that, around access and privilege and economic things for sure. But actually it is one of the best investments I've ever made and continue to make, because I it's like facilitated, and everybody's journey is different, but it's facilitated me understanding my body, having compassion on it, listening, accepting, and also just knowing what is the environment I personally need to thrive.